Shalom everybody and Bruchim Abaim to a very, very special episode of Pninei Torah, the Pearls of the Torah. This is a special program that is designed to help you to understand Moshe Rabbeinu, to understand the days ahead, and to understand and prepare for the coming of the Mashiach. It is Yeshua himself who said, if you believe Moses, you're going to believe me. I recently spoke to my good friend, Rabbi Yecheskel Italki, and he made a statement that is so true and valid. He said, if you can find the concept, if you can find a prophecy in Moses, you might as well throw it away. And he's right. Everything, the foundation of the prophets and the writings of the Brit HaChadashah, all are found in Moshe. Before I begin, I would like to remind you that this program is recorded and will be available in few other modes later on. If you have not subscribed, you can go today and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ahavat Ammi, offers you hundreds of teachings completely free of charge. Okay, you can go and subscribe. Also, we have launched about 9 months ago a mobile application by the name of Ahavat Ammi. It's available both on the App Store and it's also available to you in your Google Android Play Store. This application now reaching thousands of people, both in English and in Spanish, as we're adding our weekly teachings to this program. So if you're interested to see what I taught about last year, for example, on Parashat Devarim, all what you have to do is go and download the application. I also lastly like to remind you that this program is supported by you. Every week we are doing our very best to faithfully to bring you these teachings. Very, very detailed, takes a lot of preparation, and we need your support. We're involved in a lot of big projects that impact all of Israel. For example, the return of the kosher pig in Hebrew, very soon the return of the kosher pig in Spanish, and we truly require and need your faithful support as we remain an independent organization that give you teachings that you are not going to hear anywhere else. In return, we're asking for you to support it so we can continue to bring you this teaching completely free of charge. Today we are in Parashat Devarim, also known as Shabbat Chazon. The Shabbat known as Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat of a vision, based on Moshe's word, Re'eh, as he says here to the Israelites in verse 8, Re'eh. Now, we're going to touch today on a very important topic, and I sincerely hope you have your Tanachim and your Bible. I'm excited by this particular teaching on Parashat Devarim. We're going to focus today on Devarim, chapter 1, verse 6, 7, and 8. Recently I had here in the studio an Orthodox rabbi. I hope everybody had a chance to watch it. We have begun a debate. The debate is available for sale for those who are interested in getting it. It's going to go on sale probably over this weekend at some point, I would imagine. God willing, but if not, then next week. So if you're interested, let us know. But we had a chance to discuss extensively the topic of the days of Mashiach. What's the day of Mashiach will look like? When do we know that the days of Mashiach is upon us? And how we know that the coming of the Mashiach is near? This Torah portion this week deal with this exact topic, the days of the Mashiach. And specifically, I call this teaching the dot. Okay? What do we need to do in the dot as a dot connector to prepare ourselves for the climatic events that coming during the days of Mashiach. We're going to answer all of those questions together today. Buckle to your seats. I'm asking everybody right now to share, put a share and like, and so people know that we're live now. We're supposed to be live an hour ago, but we had some technical difficulties. Allow me to begin this discussion. If you have your Tanachim, or turn to the Devarim chapter 1, verse 6. Let's start there, the discussion. It starts with the word of Moshe Rabbeinu, you know, Adonai Eloheinu diber elenu bechorev לאמור, רב לכם שבט בהר הזה. The Lord our God spoke to us in Chorev. Chorev is another name for Sinai, Mount Sinai, saying, you have stayed long enough in the mountain. Let's continue one more verse here. And it's continuing, it says, Pnu useu lachem, ubou har Amori ve'el kol shchenav. Start out and make your way to the hill country of the Amorites and to all their neighbors in the Ahavat, in the hill of the country, okay? Bashfela, the Shfela is where the area I'm from the Shfela, okay? The Negev, the Sikos, the land of the Canaanite, and the Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river of Euphrates. And then Moshe make an exceptional statement, verse 8, and he said, see, I place the land at your disposal. Go, take possession of the land that the Lord swore to your fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, to assign them and their heirs after them. First of all, I want you to understand that the book of Devarim, called Mishneh Torah, is Moshe's personal diary. It's Moshe memoirs, okay? And here in many parts of this portion, Moses speak in first person. But there are a few glazing questions that we must ask. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and chapter 2 and portion of chapter 3 represent the longest rebuke in the Torah, in the Bible, actually. The longest rebuke. Moshe take 3 chapters almost. Some would say even more than 3 chapters. The first 10 chapters to rebuke the children of Israel. But there are a few glazing questions that we must ask ourselves. Number 1, why the text mention the fathers? Why does it mention the word fathers and then it mention Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Okay? That's one of the questions. It appears that there is a unique number that is highlighted here in the text. And the Hebrew Bible have a lot of symmetry to it. So in many times, we must pay attention to the symmetrical language of the passages. And there is a number that repeats here multiple times, especially in verse 8. What is this number? It's the number 3. Okay? What is the meaning behind the number 3? Why the number 3 is repeating so many times? We're going to get there in a minute. What is the clue that we have seen in the text and given to us by our sages that we need to uncover today? And what does it have to do with the coming of the Messiah and the days of Mashiach? I like to remind you that in Sanhedrin chapter 99, page Aleph, Daf Aleph, it says that all the words of the prophets is given us so that we will know the days of Mashiach. Okay? There is no greater prophet in Israel, it says in the end of the Devarim, than Moshe. Therefore, when we read Moshe, we have to approach Moshe not just as the giver of the law, but as the one who is the greatest storyteller of the days of the Mashiach. What does this have to do with the days of the Mashiach and the recognition of the day of the Mashiach? Let's try together to unleash this amazing mystery. I'd like us to go back to verse 6. Let's take it one verse at a time. Moshe is very, very angry, and he's telling them, you have been in Chorev, in a place called Chorev, which is another name to Sinai, okay? For a long time, he said to them, Rav lachem shevet b'har hazeh. You've been in the mountain long enough. Chazal came, and they explained that there is a real warning. Why Moshe call it Chorev? Why did he not call it Sinai? Why is it not call it, there are other names for this one. Why did he choose Chorev? And if you look at the Hebrew, you're going to notice that the word Chorev is actually spelled differently. Okay? The word Chorev, it's, if you know Hebrew, it's Chet, Vav, Resh, and Bet. But here we have what is called Cholam Chaser, a Vav Chasera, okay? And instead of the word Chorev, if you remove the Nikud, you get Chet, Resh, and Bet, which spell the word Cherev. Cherev. What is Cherev? The word Cherev represents a sword. Okay? A sword. It's like a sword that you're standing. In essence, Moshe is giving here a linguistic clue to our people. He say, if you stay in this place right now long enough, cherev will come upon you. What is the word cherev? The word cherev comes from the Hebrew word chorva. Chorva means destruction, annihilation. There is something very, very important, because the people become complacent. And Moshe says to them, if you remain in the same place, physically and spiritually, if you're not going to go and going to be in the promised land, in the place that God is going to give you, it's not going to be something that, so you're not in exactly the perfect. Destruction will come upon you. Okay? The people will consume you. The chovah will come upon you. There is a warning here for Moshe Rabbeinu. Remember, Israel is in the place called the Galut. They are not in the land. There is a physical exile and there is a spiritual exile. And Israel are in both at this point. They are in physical and a spiritual exile. And Moshe tells the people that if they remain in a state of exile, and specifically if they remain in a place that they are content and they are happy, then guess what? Not only that they will remain in a status quo, they will be destroyed. I want to encourage us. We are walking tonight of Av. Not to be satisfied of where you are. If you are satisfied in the place you are at, more than likely you will digress rather than progress. Okay? And that is an important lesson to all of us. He says, if you are happy with the status quo, you will be destroyed. That is the gist of Moshe's rebuke. He says to them, if you are happy, if you are content, you will be destroyed. The same is true for us in the Messianic believers. If we are happy, if we are not progressing, Moshe later on in Deuteronomy said, Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof, pursuing it. He said, if you are not pursuing the land, if you're not pursuing the promises in the covenant, and you are happy with what you are today. This is the demeanor of many believers today. I am saved. I know the Lord. I am in good. Well, guess what? They just received the Torah. You cannot be in the higher places of revelation. They just received the Torah. They just seen lightning and thunders. Can you imagine that? And Moshe said, that's not good enough. There is a better revelation. There is a greater revelation. You need to get there. And that is something really important for us to think about in the days of Mashiach. One of the things that we can do is to seek a greater revelation in these last days. Okay? In a second, you will see the connection to the days of the Mashiach. And a matter of fact, I want you to pay attention to the language that is used by Moshe Rabbeinu here. Moshe used the word Rav Lachem Shevet. What is the word Shevet mean? Shevet is not a tribe. That's a Shevet with a tet. But Shevet, when he says here in Hebrew, Shevet, like Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. It's talking about yeshiva, sitting in a place and consuming the place. It's not something, when you go to a tour or a trip, you're not going to dwell there. You're going for a week, you're going for 10 days, you're going, and then you're returning. I want you to hear the words of Kli Yakar in his commentary on the word Shevet. He says, and I quote, Rav Lachem Shevet, what does it mean? You have sit in the mountain long enough, Pnu Useu Lachem, right? You say, turn and go. Zo tochacha rishona. This is the very first rebuke. Al she'anashim san'u et ha'aretz v'nityeshvu bahar hazeh. They didn't like the land of milk and honey. Not only that they didn't like the promises of God, actually, they hated him. Kli Yakar said they hated. They say, we don't like your plan, God. You want to know the real issue? They say, we don't like your plan, so we're going to come up with a new plan. And here is our new plan. We are going to build a house here. And look what Kli Yakar say, Yeshiva Shel Keva. What's the word keva? It comes from the Hebrew word kavua. They didn't want to live. The matter of fact, they, not only that they didn't want to leave, did we continue to explain that they already mixed this place that is called Chorev. They confused it with the land of milk and honey. They agreed among themselves that this is the promised land. They are in the promised land. Okay? And that's the way the enemy works. When we are becoming passive, okay? When we become passive, then we start our own theologies and comfort zone and boundaries, and that's exactly what they do. They are sitting there. Please understand the seriousness of the situation here. The seriousness of the situation, they are not planning on leaving. They're not just building a camp. They want to build their houses there. They want to dwell there. They have a new Jerusalem. They have a new plan because they hate the plan that God is making. So here he's saying, Kli Yakar, he said, when it says, use the text here, and it says the word Shevet Bahar Hazeh, it is talking about not a temporary dwelling place. It is talking about a permanent dwelling place. In a second, you will see the connection to the Geulah, connection to the redemption, connection to the days of the Messiah. But the one thing I want to say about this is when we are right now, the body of Messiah is in this position, I sense like Shevet. We're sitting, I was in a MJA conference, and here I am hearing some of the leaders who I greatly respect. They are talking, and every year we are talking about the revivals in the 60s and the 70s. And I stood up and I said, listen guys, with all due respect, I am tired of hearing about what happened in the 60s and the 70s. We have been sitting on the same spot as a messianic movement for almost 50 years. It's time for us to move forward. It is time for us to have our new experiences here in the land. Because why? Because that is the special place that God has, according to Kli Yakar, lekiyum mitzvot, to fulfill the mitzvot. Okay? This is important. I want you to understand this here. If we become complacent, not only that it's going to delay the Geulah, it's going to delay our practice, and it's going to taint our view of Hashem. You want to know what is the biggest enemy today of the Messianic movement? Passivity. Being passive, not being able to know that God has more for us, okay? And Moshe is really upset with them. He is genuinely upset because they're making a new home for themselves. They're not planning on going anywhere. Please understand something. God has more for you. God has more for your community. God has more for Klal Israel. And realize the second that we realize what this more look like, I'm going to make a statement. The Geulah will come faster. The reason we get the vision, the Geulah will be hastened. How do I know it? Because the Bible tells us so. Let's see it in a second. Let's continue verse 7. What is he telling him? The Hebrew word, Pnu useu lachem ubo I am Amori. The two words I want you to focus on, the word Pnu useu. Turn, the word turn, it's literally when you drive a car and you say you missed the exit, that's called Pniya. He's not telling them just to turn around. That's the word tshuva. He's not actually, he's telling them that is worse than tshuva. He's telling them you missed the exit altogether. You now way past your exit. You need to go and take this exit, okay? And seu. The seu part is the actual physical part of doing it. He said, don't just thinking about, hey, I want to take this exit. Hey, I want to observe the Shabbat. Hey, I want to come to mitzvot. Hey, I want to keep kasher. Do it. You see? Do it. He's telling him, the battle starts in your mind. The word pnu, talking about the mind. Hey, I realize something is not right with me. Something is not right in my life. But the seu part is the physical action. So he's telling them, you need to bring the battle in your mind and then take action, okay? The word pnu literally means, in another way in Hebrew, it's mean to move out, okay? But I want you to notice something that most people are missing. He's telling them to go back to the exit and take the exit, not for God. Please understand. Yeshua says that the Son of Man is the Lord of the Torah, of the Lord of the Shabbat. In the Talmud it says, you were not given to the Shabbat, but the Shabbat is given to you. It says that in the Talmud. Why? Here is the answer. You want to understand that? Here is the understanding of what Yeshua is talking about. Pnu useu lachem. That is the most important word, is the word lachem. I'm telling you to take the exit, and I'm telling you to turn your heart and do the action, not for me. I don't need Torah, God says. I am perfect, I am mushlam. It is for your benefit. Please understand that the Hebrew word there, pnu useu, is a repeat of something we already read. Pnu useu lachem. Where is it? Where have we heard those words before? We heard them with Avraham Avinu. In Genesis chapter 12, Avraham Avinu says, Lech lecha, walk for your benefit. That's what lecha means. Walk for yourself. Walk for your own benefit. In essence, Moshe here repeating Genesis 12. It is another institution of Abrahamic covenant. He is saying here to them, Pnu v'seu lachem. I don't need that you do it for your benefit, which lead me to an important point. If we observe the Torah, lishma, for its own sake, that's what it says in Ta'anit 7, Daf Aleph, it will lead to life. As it says, Etz Chaim I lema'aminea v'tomchea me'ushar. When do we say this this blessing. We say it when we close the ark after the Torah service every week. In essence, what we're saying here is we want to practice the Torah, not just in our mind, but in asiyah, in action, for our benefit. So we will not be destroyed and distracted. Please understand, this entire thing, he says, Moshe is upset because he said, you don't understand. God has something much better for you. And it's for your benefit. Okay? It's like a mother that come to a child and say, hey, take this vitamin. It will make you feel better. Okay? It will strengthen you, help you grow. And the kid turn it. He said, no. That's exactly why Moshe is upset, because Hashem is like a loving father. He knows what's best. And he said, I've given you what's best on Mount Horeb. What is best is the Torah. But this Torah have a special place that when you do that, you can fulfill all the mitzvot. It's called Eretz Israel. Okay? Only in the land you can do all the mitzvot. Do you know? You cannot do all the mitzvot if you are outside of Israel. It is true, okay? That's why the Galut is such a crummy place to be, okay? But they refuse that. They reject that. They don't want to move out. And as a matter of fact, they are already built in their mind that this is the land of Canaan. They are in the land of Canaan. You see how twisted this is? And sometimes we as Messianic believers do that. We twist it to fit our lifestyle. But 9th of Av is a reminder for us that God has more. He has more for us, okay? Look with me at the next verse now. ראה נתתי לפניכם את הארץ, בואו רשו את הארץ אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לאברהם יצחק ויעקב לתת לזרעם אחריהם. What a beautiful invitation. He is reasoning with them. Yes, he is rebuking them. Yes, he is reasoning. He said, come on, guys. Come on, guys. I have for you a beautiful land, a beautiful place. Come there. And I want you to notice here the word natati lifnechem. Okay? Wait a second. We have a problem here. If somebody served me a tray of food, they put it in front of me. That's called lifnechem. And do I have to fight for this food? No, I just reach in and take the order and put it in my mouth. I don't have to fight for the food. But here it says, Natati lifnechem, but then look later in the same verse, it says, Reshu et haaretz. What's the Reshu? Go inherit the land. In one sense, he said you need to go and fight for it. The Rush, claim your inheritance. Fight for your inheritance. Go and get it. But in another sense, he is saying, I'm giving it to you. So we have a very big paradox here. In one way, God says, I am giving to you. Another way, he says, you have to go and fight for it. So which one is it? There is a big dilemma here that we have to fix. We have to understand. And then notice, another thing, he says, I'm giving it to you. This is the land I promised, I swore to your fathers. Let's ask the question. If we promise it to our fathers, why then he go? Why is the Torah is redundant? What, we don't know the fathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Why did he say, La'avodechem? And then he said, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Why do we need these extra details? Why is the Torah giving us these extra details? Okay, this is important. Listen to the Rashi commentary on this verse. He's suggesting something interesting. And he said, the reason it says, La'avotechem, and then it says, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. He said, why is it further mentioned the name Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? He said, it is to suggest the following. The zchut, or in English, merit, of Avraham would itself be sufficient for them. That Isaac would itself also suffice, that Jacob itself also suffice, okay? In essence, it's kind of going with what we're talking about. Natati lifnechem. I'm putting the fechem from the word panim. I'm putting it in your face. You don't even have to do anything. You just sniff it and grab it. Okay, it's like an odor. You put it, it's right there. The waiter goes, you just grab it. You don't have to reach. You don't have to fight. You don't have to push. It's kind of adding kind of a fuel to the fire. You don't have to do anything. You had an awesome dad. His name was Avraham Avinu. Now you understand why they say, Pnu siu lachem, lech lecha. It's the same word. Do it for your benefit. Just like Genesis 4. You had an awesome dad. His name was Avraham Avinu. Because what Abraham did for me, this land belonged to you. Isaac? Because what Isaac did for me, this belonged to you too. Oh, Jacob wrestled with me and overcame. It's also belong to you. So we have still a big dilemma. If this is the case, why is he say Reshu? Why is they go fight for it? If it's something given to us as a gift, why do we fight for it? If the merit of the fathers is enough, as it's clearly say, why are they still not even in the land? Wait a second, that also doesn't make sense. If the merit of the Abraham, Yitzchak, why are they in the wilderness? That's also a big dilemma. We will answer it now, and you will see how it's related to the days of the Mashiach. Okay? We find something that you might not catch at first glance. Verse 8, and then he say, I given it to you. It's already given to you. Lifnechem, to you. There is a unique in Hebrew language here, a uniqueness, what I call an unbalanced statement. What does it mean, an unbalanced statement? It starts in the singular and it ends in the plural. Okay? Pay attention. Re'eh is singular. If we speak to all of Israel, it should read Re'u. It doesn't read Re'u, it's read Re'eh. Question number one. Why Moshe speaking in the singular? And then it said Natati lifnechem. Lifnechem is plural. If we speak to one, it will be lefanecha. So we have something very, very confusing here. But as you understand this, you will understand the answer for our first question. Re'eh, singular, lifnechem, plural. Okay. What is the answer for this? Or HaChaim explained the following in his commentary on the Devarim. He say, Re'eh natati lifnechem. It's speaking in singular, batchila, because there is a one entity. And this entity is called Israel. Israel is made out of many parts. That's the explanation that Or HaChaim is giving. Some parts are legs, some parts are arms, some parts are heart, okay? But in the term of Re'iyah, which is literally mean a vision, the word Re'eh is a vision, like Parashat Re', in term of vision, they must have a single vision. Do you want to know why they are not in the land? Here is the answer. They were not having a single vision. Some people wanted to stay in Chorev and declare this is the land of milk and honey. We already saw that. Okay? They had a completely different vision. Okay? So Moshe, you say, Re'eh, he say, come on, guys. You got to get it with the program, with a single vision. You want to know what the issue with the roots movements and the two house movements and the sacred name movements and all those other movements, at the end of the day, the issue is the fact that it is dividing the vision for the salvation of Israel. That is the vision here. What is the vision here? For the people to be in the land. That's equal salvation for all of Israel to be saved. Some people have a different vision of salvation, okay? And that is the real issue. So when he says, he's saying you better have one vision. Yes, there's going to be different body parts, lifnechem, okay? But one single vision. One of the parts of inheriting the land. They already have the zchut, the merit of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to the land. Make no mistakes. Not by the in the wilderness, allowed to the land. Yes, this is true, but that is not the real reason here. The real reason here is part of getting to the land and inheriting the land has to do with a single vision, okay? Part of the process of inheriting the land and the journey in the wilderness related to the fact that God's goal is to unify Bnei Israel. Do we need halacha? You know, a lot of people say, well, yes, I have halacha. And halacha is the Holy Spirit. Well, that's great. So if so much disunity, why do we have so much disaccord? Why do we have so much confusion? No. We do need halacha. We need a messianic Jewish halacha that is similar and very close to a Jewish halacha. Why? Because only through halacha, okay, we can get to a single vision. And only through a single vision we can be in the land. And as you're going to see in a second, only through being in the land, Mashiach will come. You go away to the punchline here. There is a punchline to this teaching, okay? Without unity and without the vision, one cannot inherit the land. And if one cannot inherit the land, Mashiach cannot come. My challenge to everybody here who call themselves Messianic is what halacha you following. Do you know Jewish halacha? Okay? You must learn about Jewish halacha if you want to hasten the coming of Mashiach. If you solely depend on the Holy Spirit and you don't grab the tzitzit of the Jews, okay, you delay the coming of the Mashiach. Okay? This is important, okay? So, how does this connect to the Ymot HaMaShiach? I want you to notice something amazing. He says, behold, remember what I said at the beginning, the number 3 is a key number here. Look at this. ראה נתתי לפניכם, now you know why it's singular and plural, את הארץ, come and grab it. You have to do something first in your heart. You have to become united before you can get it. Okay? בואו רשו את הארץ אשר נשבע אדוני אלוהיכם, אברהם, יצחק, יעקב. How many fathers? 3. Okay? And then he says, לתת להם, notice the language, the last 3 words, to give to them, to this generation, לזרעם, to their offspring, to their seed, and then there's a very interesting word, achrehem, to the one who will come after them. Wait a second, why did the Torah mention Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? This generation, their offspring, and the one that come after them. It's redundant. Again, this is redundancy. Why does the Torah need to tell us that the one offspring is everybody, right? Wrong. Are you ready? Let's turn to Rabbeinu Bachai, who explained this. The following: our sages in Yalkut Shimoni understand the word to mean the following. The first one, listen to this explanation. The first one is them. That's called the redemption from the galut of Egypt, right? They're coming out of Egypt. To their offspring, speaking about those who will return from the Babylonian exile, Okay? And the additional word, I quote from him, achreem, after them, refer to the people who are alive during the final redemption, during the days of Mashiach. During the final redemption. Hello, friends. The Jewish people today are in the land again after 2,000 years. By definition of Chazal, the second the Jewish people have entered the land and took the land in 1948 and 67, okay, Jerusalem. Guess what? We are in the final days of Mashiach right now. By definition, on the word Achreim, Achreim is speaking about our generation today. Okay? This is absolutely incredible. And matter of fact, I love the way the Targum explained it. The Targum says, see, I have given up the inhabitants of the land before you, nor shall I need needful to carry arms. Go in and possess the land and point the ladders. Why they don't need to carry arms? If Israel is united as one person, in one heart, and one accord, guess what? God will do all the fighting for Israel. That is true. Okay, that's why some say that the creation of the Zionist state is the greatest tragedy that is actually occurred, because we are delaying the Geulah. But look what the Torah is here actually saying. The Torah actually is saying when they are in the land, in the final time, Achreim, by definition, we are in the days of Messiah. You want to know what days we are today in? In the days of Mashiach. Let's look at of the commentators on this. In Yalkut Shimoni, it says in Remez Tet Kuf Pei Aleph, it says Achreim, right? Now you know why it's mentioned. Them, their offspring, and them, the one who will come afterwards. Achreim. The word Achreim also comes from the word Acharon, the last one. It says, and I quote from the Midrash, she'en mityashvim be'artzam ela b'geula hashlishit. When Israel will be settled after the Babylonian again in the land, okay, it will be the final redemption. The first redemption was Geulat. Here you go. It says in the Midrash, it was Geulat Mitzrayim. The second one is called the Geulah of Ezra. And the third one, I loved it. It says En La Efsek. It will be a Geulah that will not stop. There will be no more exiles. Friend, Israel will not be taken out or removed from the land ever again, because we are in the third redemption right now, which is the final redemption. Anybody who thinks that Israel will be removed from the land is a fool. Israel will not be removed from the land. Okay? This is the final sign of Geulah. Look what Sifrei says on the connection of Devarim chapter 1, verse 8, the verse we're at. It uses here the word, listen to his commentary on the word Achreim, okay, in Lezar'am, he says, and I quote, Elu Ymot HaMaShiach. The days where Israel are back into the land, okay, and they are in Jerusalem, we will know that those are the days of Mashiach. It's interesting that in few days we're going to read during Tisha B'Av the book of Lamentation. Okay? The book of Icha is talking about the first exile. Okay? But isn't it interesting that Chazal connected Icha chapter 4 verse 22 for this particular verse? What does it say? It says, your iniquity, fair Zion, the daughter of Sinner, is over. He will exile you No longer your iniquity from Edom, he will uncover your sin. Isn't it amazing that the rabbi said that the galut, the final galut, when Israel is back into the land, is over from Edom, specifically Bat Edom. What is Edom? Is Christianity. For 2,000 years, Israel, the Jewish people, have been some sort under Christian persecution, Christian regime, crusaders, the Catholic Church. The persecution of the last 2,000 years by Christians has been overwhelming. But the second we're in the land, God says, I am starting to remove the veil of Edom, the rulership of Edom. And there's going to be a great war coming from Esau and Yaakov. We know that it's happened and it's coming again. And Esau and Ishmael somehow will get together. That's what the prophecy is teaching. So we need to stay very, very tuned to the news right now to see what is going to happen. We are in a time of prophecy. But it says here in Hebrew, Tam avonech batzil. When you're in the land, the day of Mashiach is upon us, and that's it. You are no more in the exile, no more in the galut. Are we in the galut today? Yes, Mashiach has not come, but we're in the days of Mashiach. We are back physically to the land, and we're about to become spiritually back in the land. You follow this? This is incredible, okay? As a matter of fact, now you understand why this concept of three is so important, okay? This is the end of the exile. Remember, you can get to the land, your seeds can get to the land, and what it says, verse 8, Deuteronomy, even those who will come after them will come to the land. This is amazing prophecy. It's talking about our generation today. How do I know it? I am a Tzabar. I was born in Israel. My mother was born in Lithuania. My father was born in Baghdad. I was born in Israel. And because of that, I know that we are in the days of Mashiach. And a matter of fact, look what it's saying about the first Geulah and the second Geulah in connection to the third Geulah. One of the most incredible verses comes from the book of Hosea chapter 6, verse 2. It says, in 2 days, he will make us whole again. On the third day, he will rise up, and we shall be whole by his favor. Let me ask you a question. Who is the one who is resurrected on the third day? Why Yeshua had to be resurrected on the third day? Because Israel is resurrected on the third Geulah. Okay? Yachayenu miyomayim bayom ashlishi yakemenu v'nicheh. He will resurrect us on the third day. And what is this third day? When Israel is back into the land. That is exactly what is it said. The first resurrection was a limited resurrection. It's happened when we left Egypt. The second resurrection is when we left Babel. But Bayom HaShlishi, it's not just the resurrection of the Mashiach. It is the resurrection of the Jewish people who are back into the land. Metzudat David explained that the word Yachayenu miyomayim, he will send us a refuah, he send us healing in the first Galuyot. But by Yom HaShlishi, Metzudat David explained, he said, B'Geula ha'atida yakimu min ha'nefila. In the future Geulah, he will resurrect us, and we will never be in exile again. And what a foolish world we have today, who try to evict Israel outside of Jerusalem today. Foolish! You're not fighting against the UN, you're fighting against God himself. Please understand, this is all prophecy, this is all prophetic. Rabbeinu Bachai explained, אין עיקר יישובן של ישראל בארץ ישראל בשני המקדשים שעברו, כי בגאולה האחרונה. He said the two first geulot out of Egypt and out of Babylon are like a child game, okay? The real deal is the future Geulah, okay? Kibbutz Galuyot. So we're praying every day, Baruch Atah Adonai, who return, we say, who restore the exile back, the scattered back to Zion. Do you know that this prophecy already took place by Jewish interpretation, at least partially? In essence, what does it mean when we call to the kibbutz galuyot for him to return our people? In essence, we're asking him to return us back to the 600,000 men. Beloved, the second we had in Israel 600,000 men, Rabbi Cook explained, the galut is already over because he started to return the people back to the land. Louis, my family came from Russia, and they came from Iraq, and they came from other places all over the world. It's already happening. Please understand this. Kol Torah explained that the second that we have 600,000 men, we can expect him to appear with clouds of heaven in supernatural way. The Gemara says in Kol Torah, friend, Mashiach can appear every day. It's exciting. Some of you may be shaking in your boots right now. Oh my goodness, I might not be ready. But I'm telling you something, Mashiach can appear here right now, almost any day, because we have over 600,000 men in Jerusalem, returning. We have the Jewish people in the land, which means that we are right now already in Ymot HaMaShiach. So how can we hasten Ymot HaMaShiach? What can we do to truly hasten this? Now I think everybody understands we are in Ymot HaMaShiach. I hope everybody is excited about this study. What can we do? What can we do? Friends, we have to have the vision today for the coming of the King and prepare the land. When Israel walked into the land, they could not worship God right away. They had to destroy the places of worship. Right now, Edom trying to come and infiltrate Israel. How do they do it? In variety of ways. One of the way is to convince the people in the land that they don't need halacha, that they can do whatever they want to do, they can choose to do whatever they want to do in the land. No. When we are in the land, when we are part of Klal Israel, when we are part of camp of Israel, as Kliakar said, this is a special place where you can really fulfill the mitzvot in a full heart. In a full heart. When we fulfill the mitzvot today, in a spiritual sense, we are building the heavenly temple that will usher, God willing, in our time, the temple that will build from and with by Mashiach.